we assaulted the Zenith base last time and brought the main game story to a conclusion. We were sort of rapidly introduced to a new threat known as Nemesis, which was the real reason why the Zeniths fled from their colony in the, was it the Sirius system? Which sort of took me a little bit by surprise, but I guess it sets up the next game. We don't really know anything for the minute though, right? It's a swarm of angry, sentient machine that's somehow amalgamated with partly digitized personalities of the Zeniths. So yeah, but like I say, if we just ignore that, I was very surprised that none of the Zeniths survived. I thought one of them was going to squirm off. Right, yeah, I can understand, like, Eric wanting to fight us head-on, but surely, like, I thought maybe Gerard would just run off. Like, why wouldn't he just, like, fly off? Something, like, of that nature. I don't know. But they're all gone. Tilda included. So, the time span of how far behind Nemesis is, it took them 17 years or so to get here from Sirius, and Nemesis is somewhat behind them. How far? I'm not sure. Let's say it's a year behind, maybe. I don't know. It's just, like, I think it would need to be a longer time jump to the next game for them to develop their own style of technology, because we're going to have a bit of a jump, right, in terms of the accessibility of the Apollo program if Silence doesn't do something to it in the meantime. And just the general development of the general technological development of the human population here on Earth, now that information will hopefully be made available. We're gonna have to, you know, yeah. So, but it's most of that knowledge is going to be focused on a war effort now, with this Nemesis consciousness AI. So yeah, it did feel like the Zeniths went down a little easy, but I suppose we had the surprise on them. We had the jump on them even. They were obviously, yeah. I mean, them being as arrogant as they were, I suppose is fair enough. They were pretty much gods compared to us with their technology, but they underestimated us to their peril. We got vengeance for Val. Zoe ran Eric right through with a spear. Tilda killed Gerard. I felt like it was a little unnecessary for Tilda to just confront us in a big boss fight, right? You don't need to end games like that. Like, you can end games with, like, a conversation and it still be compelling, right? I don't... It's hard to give examples without spoiling things. But, yeah, it felt a little unnecessary. And, you know, like the two big money voice actors that they snagged for this game to play Regala and Tilda are both gone now. Regala, yeah, and the same thing for Regala. I feel like her death was a little bit tame, but yeah. But yeah, I said I was going to do like my thoughts on the game after we finished Burning Shores, but I don't know. I might do it as we sort of make our way over there. I don't really know. Yeah, let's have a little talk with Val.
We did it, Val. We stopped the Zeniths. We saved life on Earth. Well, for now, at least. There's another threat coming. I don't know how we're gonna beat it, but we'll face it together. All of us. Rest easy, my friend. I'll visit again when I can.
Okay. Right, I believe the only people here at base are Beta and Gaia, so we'll obviously talk to both of them before we head to Tilda's, where Silence is situated, to begin the DLC, which it seems is on a completely separate map, which is very exciting, to be honest. As I've said already, I think it's going to be a Pacific island. Hawaii, Tonga, Fiji. Watch me accidentally start New Game Plus.
What are you up to? I'm getting a head start on looking for ways to temporarily stabilize the biosphere. We may not have Hephaestus, but I'm sure we can come up with something.
Forgot about that. It's just a convenient way for us to have to fight machines in the next game, I suppose. Can we not, like, fully talk to her?
Rawls gave a visit earlier. Back at Gemini, he tried so hard to protect me. He was my first friend. I still can't believe he's gone. Me too. So, Nemesis. I had a lot of theories on what destroyed the Zenith colony on Sirius, but the twisted amalgamation of uploaded Zenith brain scans was definitely not one of them. And now it's headed for Earth. Yeah.
Great. Great.
Be careful out there, Aloy. When the Zeniths forced me to work on merging Hephaestus, it was... well, it was really pissed off. Capturing it again, it's not gonna be easy. We'll find a way.
We can hope.
It's good to be back, Aloy.
Give us a hug, sis.
It's good to be back, Aloy.
Okay, not as in-depth dialogue as I was hoping for. Let's go and give Mother Earth a visit.
Welcome back, Aloy.
Gaia? Gaia?
Everything okay, Gaia?
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is good to be home. Although my heuristic matrix will take some time to reinitialize.
Sure.
I must ensure that all Zenith code has been purged from my systems.
Good idea. Take as long as you need. Are we gonna be able to fix the biosphere? With Hephaestus back out in the wild?
With its escape to the global Cauldron network, Hephaestus has resumed its operations and increased its security protocols. I am already formulating options to recontain it. Additionally, I will utilize the capabilities of my remaining subordinate functions and make every effort to stave off collapse of the biosphere. I am certain it will gain us some time.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Reinitialization in progress. I will inform you when it is complete.
Is it finished?
Reinitialization in progress. I will inform you when it is complete.
Alright, okay. I don't think anyone else is here, to be honest. Everyone else has gone back to their respective towns and tribes. Right, I've got a few skill points. Now, I think one of you suggested it, and I seem to remember there is stuff to do with flying mounts in here, right? Am I making that up? Flying grapple launch. Now, was this a visible video thing before, and I just never even properly looked at it? What does that mean, grapple launch? Oh, right, just, okay. Cool. Sure. Is there any other mounted stuff? Oh, the shield stuff. Yeah, smoke bomb heal is pretty good, to be fair. Right then. I guess we'll go to Tilda's mansion. See you later, B. I wish she would choose a new name for herself, right? I really thought that would happen, actually. Right, it's a good, what, 3-4 clicks away. Oh, I could do with restocking, couldn't I? Balls. Sorry. Yeah, obviously I'm like a day or two ahead of the uploads. I'm not like a crazy amount ahead, so I've not like read any of your comments on the endings yet. But where is my room? Oh yeah, and I needed to interact with our little items and tokens.
Maybe one day, I'll head back to the Sacred Lands and see Sona again.
Yeah.
Tell her what her son accomplished. And how brave he was.
And that she's a grandmother, right?
Elizabeth had a dream for this world. I guess a lot didn't go as planned. And there are still dangers ahead. Maybe the biggest yet.
Okay,
But after
fine.
what Beta and I accomplished, I have hope. We'll fight for Elizabeth's dream. Together.
Okay, so considering Silence knows about Nemesis and stuff, I wonder how much of a bridge this DLC is aimed to be towards the next game. I don't know. Yeah, I still wish they hadn't mentioned it.
I should learn.
Right, so we'll fly to Tilda's, and I don't know, maybe I'll give my thoughts on the parts of the game along the way. I mean, overall, in terms of like the main game experience on the main map here before we go to the Burning Shores, I've had a really great time. I feel like I think like the biggest success of the game is just the map, the game world itself. It's progressed like so much from the first game, just in terms of the scale, the verticality, the scope, just the general size and beauty of the open world, right? Almost at every turn, there's just no Other than, I would say, ironically, because we're looking at it, I would only say that the only maybe sort of dull-ish section would be the Las Vegas desert bit, but it's a desert, right? I mean, it still had lots of stuff underneath and above, but everything else, it is a beautiful game world that has sort of improved on the first game's world in every aspect, right? The verticality with the climbing, the verticality that downwards with the swimming. The swimming mechanically feels amazing, right? Swimming can be a really difficult thing to do in a lot of third-person games. It's notoriously like always a bit of a janky bit of certain games, and it feels really well. I mean, maybe there could have been a bit of underwater combat, a little bit somehow. But maybe without sort of automated weapons of some sort, it's a bit difficult to pull that off. But, you know, I don't know, maybe there should have been something underwater just to make it a little bit less hide in the grass as the only option, right, to evade. But it was still really enjoyable, obviously, when you unlock the breathing mask to explore down there. And then, obviously, we've unlocked the flying, the climbing, and, you know...
I can't keep this up. Should fly lower.
Traversing so much on foot as I've done throughout this playthrough. I think I only fast travelled maybe twice towards the end when we were just trying to finish off a couple of side quests, where we had to get the quests from base, you know, and then they were like, oh, just go back to the other side of the map where you just were. But otherwise, it felt like the pacing in terms of traversing through the map felt like I explored most bits of the map. There's a tiny few bits of grey that we've got on the map on the west coast, but yeah, it felt like we sort of reached that final mission just at the right point, and we got the flying just at the right point where we'd seen everything in an organic way, and we'd been traversing the map. And I think there's only maybe like 2 rebel camps I've not taken care of. So yeah, that aspect was really good, and I still enjoy. I think the thing that I like, because I do have some points, some criticism of the game that I don't want to kind of make it sound like that overshadows the fact that like the core of the first game and of this game is something that I really enjoy. Just like the core idea of it, right? The core aesthetic, the core like story principles, the overriding sci-fi ideas, I really enjoy, and I've really enjoyed engaging with again. I think there are certain things from the first game that they haven't improved on as much as I maybe hoped that they would. I still think for as much as the combat has evolved, right, I still think that like the combat What is that? Can we do that little barrel roll that we were doing before? Anyway, yeah, I still feel like the biggest problem with the combat, it has nothing to do with like, well, I think there's two issues I have with the combat, and they were issues in the first game. I think the main problem for me, at least, is the lack of defensive tactics. You have like immediate defensive tactics, not strategic defensive tactics. I know you can place tripwires and bombs and stuff, but what I mean is like your immediate options for defending. You can literally, all you can do is dodge, and I know you can put up those shield tripwires and stuff, but that's not what I mean. Like your ability to defend is too singular, which is my main issue with the combat, is particular, and it gets like particularly brought forward when you fight against human enemies, right? Like when you're fighting against something that is similar in size to you, I feel like you should be able to block, or you should have a second dodge that's not a roll. You know, I think most games in this genre have multiple immediate defensive options, right? Like if you think of, I've not played God of War Ragnarok, but I know, like, in the first God of War game, you have a quick dodge, a long dodge, and a block, like in and a parry, right? In The Witcher 3, you have a quick dodge, a long dodge, you have a block, and you have a parry, and you also have the magic shield, right? So I just feel like the game needs just to tie. Because you have so many offensive options. Look at this, man. You have so many offensive options. And some of these are pseudo-offensive, right? But they all involve firing something, is what I mean. So they all occupy the same space. So I just feel like the game desperately needs like we have the shield wing that we, the thing that we glide on. Like, why couldn't we have that as like a one-time block with like a like a 30-second cooldown on it? And like maybe there are certain attacks that we can we still take some damage, but we can block some of it. It would just mean that you're not constantly rolling or sprinting or going back into stealth. That is my main issue with the gameplay. Like, I still enjoy it, but I want some more defensive options, particularly in the melee. Like when you're fighting someone who's got a spear or whatever the big guys had, the big axes and stuff, and you just panic rolling the whole time. Like, just give me a little block or a second dodge, right? Like a single input dodge and a double input dodge. Yeah, and then I think the other problem is the weapon wheel being... I feel like you should be able to quick select some of these. I know that there are 6 weapons and they've got ammo variants, but I think that a lot of games, I think, maybe like Ghost of Tsushima, with how it selects its different stances, right? There are 4 different stances, similar, and there are 6 weapons here. You could have a similar method of just quick selecting the weapon that doesn't bring this weapon wheel up, because it's having to interact with the UI in the middle of combat. I feel like they should have at least made an option for you to have like a quick select. Those are my 2 main gripes with the gameplay. But everything else, like the enemy design, the lore around them, the cauldrons, the variety of weapons, like the different elemental effects, the way you can use certain things in stealth, are all fantastic. I just wish we had a quick select and we had some immediate defensive options outside of the dodge roll. Is there someone we can land here? I have no idea. But yeah, those are my main 2 gripes with the gameplay. Like, everything else, like, I've really enjoyed. The traversal is really smooth. I think that's one of the biggest compliments I can pay, actually, is just the general locomotion for like a Western open world RPG is really satisfying. I think that, like, it's usually Japanese games have sort of feel a bit more responsive in this genre, whereas this game really holds its own. But yeah, in terms of the gameplay, those were my main issues. I think, considering they've, like, after the success of the first game, or relative success, however you want to put it, I feel like if they were always planning this as a trilogy, like in any trilogy, like the middle entry is always really tricky, because you don't want it to just be a bridge. You want it to sort of stand on its own, and I think for like 99% of the game, it has done that. It felt completely removed from the first game, had its own story, characters continued on, but it felt really self-contained. Like the bit with Nemesis sort of undercuts that a little bit, but if you sort of just disregard that mention of Nemesis, like, everything else is like a really good self-contained game, which is what I always want. I don't want it to feel like they're just... that it's just, like I said, just a bridge. And I think games stuck in the middle of a trilogy can find that difficult, and that's... Excuse me? someone attacking Silence. But yeah. Other than the little bit of Nemesis sequel bait right at the end, I feel like the game has done a really good job of existing on its own, which is what I massively prefer with sequels, or like middle games. But yeah, in terms of like the story and the characters, there's been a lot. The addition of Beta was fantastic for me. That was such an amazing reveal. Just the whole lore around the Zeniths in general, I think, has been really captivating. Learning about them, like I said, I think in the last video, I would have liked to have learned more about all the other Zeniths, right? Because they could have had. I imagine they would have had all had their own weird, like narcissistic personalities. So it would have been cool just to get a character bio, right? It doesn't have to be like a big cutscene or a voiced character. Just would have been nice just to get like a little journal entry about them. I would have enjoyed that just because, you know, I don't know, what am I, a lore whore? You know, I love stuff like that. I love just being able to, you know the players who are involved. So it would have been nice to get a bit more depth there. In terms of like all the new stuff, like the new tribes and stuff, I think. So we've had the Quen, we've had the Tanakh, who are obviously were split into 4 different sub-tribes throughout the game. And we've got the Plainsong. The Wicker Basket people. Why have I just forgotten Zoe and Plainsong? Yeah. Just my brain's gone there. It's gone. Where is it? Utaru. Sorry about that. Yeah, the Utaru. I don't know. Maybe you could say that the Tanakh took up a little bit too much real estate, right? Would have been nice for them maybe to have been a couple more local tribes, but maybe that's just because the first game everything's new, and there's. I'm trying to think how many different tribes are there in the first game. The Nora, the Ossurum, the Karja, the Shadow Karja. Silence's people from the DLC. I've forgotten what they're called. The Snow people. That's gone from my mind as well. So maybe it's not too different in terms of numbers. I'm probably forgetting another tribe, but no, I think no. So it's probably very similar actually. And then obviously the Tanakh, we've got Regardless Rebels, we've got Sky Clan, Lowland Clan, and Desert Clan. So yeah, and then you've got the Ossurum are quite heavily present as well. And then there's a bit of Karja sprinkled in there. So you do actually, yeah, when you think about it, you do have probably even more variety in terms of tribes than you did in the first game. But in terms of new tribes, maybe just because there's so much Tanakh. And they're just sort of their architecture. Maybe the architecture between the tribes could have been a bit more different rather than just the colours, right? That was one thing. Other than like the Bulwark, because the Bulwark was like such an epic spectacle. Whereas like all the other Tanakh cities or towns or whatever felt a bit samey. It's because it was all the same sort of pointy architecture, so maybe it would have been nice for that to be a bit different between the clans. I actually kind of liked the Rebels colour scheme because I like green the most. But yeah, I think all of the new tribes are actually really cool when I actually stop and think about it. Yeah, the Utaru aesthetically are probably the coolest, the nicest. We've obviously not properly seen the architecture for the Quen because they were just at like a temporary base. But it was fascinating learning about their culture, the more warrior-like culture of the Tanakh, and the very peaceful. Yeah, so it's like a sort of good trifecta then, isn't it? The Utaru are more peaceful, land-loving in terms of their cultural values. The Tanakh, they're a warrior tribe, very adversarial and survival of the fittest kind of attitude. And then the Quen, they're more like focused on technology, a bit on religion as well, as they've kind of surrounded their technology and religion. So, you know, they have a bit of a similarity to the Karja in terms of like the monarchy. It's sort of, or the sort of monarchy that they've got with their emperor. Yeah. So yeah, there's a nice contrast between the three actually when you sort of stop and think about it. And then yeah, the rebels as well. I think that the machine variations were really awe-inspiring, right? I think some of the big machines were just terrifying. They really built upon that. I mean, the shell snappers, the tide rippers, the slaughter spines, the dread wings. Yeah, really pushed it another level with the big machines. Because I think in the first game you would have said like the truly like massive machines would have only been like the Thunderjaws and the Stormbirds. And then maybe the Fireclaws from the DLC, right? They were just so aggressive. Or Frostclaws even. So yeah, like the new machines were all a real spectacle. The aesthetic, it might be cool actually. I don't know if we can do it. We might not be able to go there again, but it might be cool to spend some time at the Zenith base just to have a look around. Maybe we're restricted from going in there. Maybe it's reserved for the final mission, but just to look at the architecture again. One thing that I was wondering is maybe it'd be interesting to see what happens with Zenith Island over there, because there's no one protecting it now. So maybe there's going to be scavengers who are going to get bits and pieces of their tech. Silence can't guard it forever, right? He's only one man and he's not got any machines really to... Well, maybe he could override some machines to protect it still. I guess like my only criticism in terms of... Not my only criticism, obviously I've had some already, but in terms of like the tribes maybe. I did feel at times, but I get this is maybe like a tonal thing throughout the game. I feel like I do feel like the tribes and the towns and the general like atmosphere lacks a bit of an edge at times. Like it feels a little bit too welcoming. Maybe that's just me wanting it to be more miserable and dark. But you know how everyone reveres Aloy already, like after what happened at the not at the Cull route, at the embassy. We defeated or pushed back Regala, and everyone just, whenever you go anywhere, everyone's like in admiration of Aloy. Whereas I kind of feel like as an outsider, everyone should be really suspicious of anyone who's from an outsider in this kind of setting. I don't know, but I kind of like it when you're the outsider, right? You're the weirdo. So I feel like maybe it feels a bit too welcoming at times, outside of, you know, obviously like a rebel camp, but then they're just trying to kill you. I just mean like the passive tone when you go in some of these places. But maybe that's just a personal thing. But like, you know, I don't know how to judge it sometimes with the tribes being so like as little mini societies being so like what word am I looking for? Being like really equal and like not having much sort of internal prejudice. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. Like it's nice in terms of them being able to tell different stories, but if you think about the tribes like this, you would probably expect there to be like more, I don't know, less equality and for it.
Cooler.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm just projecting things from normal human art, well, the old world's sort of tribal attitudes and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just me wanting things to be a bit like dingier and darker, outside the obvious sort of ideas in a post-apocalypse like this. But yeah, I'll try and give more thoughts as we go. We'll get started. You've probably grown tired of my ramblings. I have no idea how to get in, Silence. Is there a grapple point? Can't summon Sharon. Oh, who? Oh! Oh, man. Oh, how did I... Wish I would have spotted this. Sterling Malkeats YCITT Enigma. Data corrupted. All the makings of the next big thing. A much ballyhooed acquisition from an art historian turned technologist, no less. Bleeding edge science and a great narrative to boot. I only know the phrase ballyhoo from Good Will Hunting. Right. Alright. The application was called YCITT after young Christ in the Temple, a well-known Vermeer forgery. By creating perfect holographic scans of individual layers of a painting and comparing them to a vast library of artistic works, it was able to identify fakes with an unprecedented level of accuracy. So this is the program Tilda sort of built her reputation on. But it was clear to Sterling executives that the program's ability to match and ID patterns had broad applications outside of the art world as a tool for security, counter-surveillance, or digital authentication. It could prove just as revolutionary as it had in its intended role, which is why they were willing to sign a 9-figure agreement for it, blasting news of the deal to every outlet in the tech media. 2 years later, the project collapsed in a chaotic jumble of lawsuits, recriminations, and accusations of sabotage. So what went wrong? Who was responsible? And most importantly, what happened to the underlying technology, which by all accounts was far more powerful than the vaporware label applied by disgraced executives? Interesting. So everything to do with Tilda's original application, a killer app, collapsed. You got any other points, data points? Oh, damn it, I missed all these. Sorry about that, guys. Would have given us some good perspective, I suppose. Rotterdam 2033. Corrupted data. Cyber attack by far-right anti-migrant group Purity Action Europe reversed key instructions to the city's new storm surge barriers, rendering them fully open during a massive extratropical cyclone. The resulting flood cascaded through the city in a matter of minutes, effectively wiping it from the face of the earth. I was one of the lucky ones, recalls survivor Tilda van der Meer, who was 8 at the time of the attack. My family was wealthy. We had a watertight vault for some of our most precious belongings. My father locked me inside when he went to look for my mother, so I waited there in silence as the waters rose, praying every moment that my parents would return. They never did. As horrible as that sounds, Tilda was lucky indeed. In addition to her parents, the flood killed more than 100,000 people, including approximately 40,000 climate refugees from corrupted data. A cyber attack, really? Anti-migrant group, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that going around. Any other little bits of lore? We need to go to the next floor. Silence, mate. What have you got for me?
So this is where Tilda tried to reel you in. What was her proposal? That together you could save the planet? Just as your precious genetic mother always wanted? I believe the old ones called that a bait and switch. Luring you with the promise of a vibrant new world, when in reality, it's doomed to be cracked open by nemesis and scoured of life.
If you're trying to get a rise out of me about Tilda, it's not gonna work. And if you really believed we have no future, you wouldn't be here.
And perhaps I'm just waiting to see if you can once again achieve the impossible. Speaking of which, my preparations for Nemesis have revealed a new problem. I've been searching the remains of the Zenith base for any data that could help us. In doing so, I discovered that 13 of our spacefaring friends descended to Earth from the Odyssey.
But we only found 12 corpses total, including Verbena at the biotech lab.
Your math is impressive as always, but yes, it appears that one got away.
I was right.
His name is Walter Landra. In the 21st century, he was an aerospace magnate, but also a bit of a celebrity.
Douche with a
I'm
mustache.
sure I don't have to tell you that he's far too dangerous to be allowed to roam free. You need to find him and deal with him.
Okay, so he might be important though in terms of his technological expertise, right?
So Landra made his fortune by selling spaceships?
Not exactly. He built ships and drones that could mine near-Earth asteroids for rare metals, generating untold riches.
I'm starting to see why you're worried.
Indeed. Thanks to us, he no longer has access to the Odyssey or the Zenith base, but he likely has extensive knowledge of potent old-world technologies. As such, he represents both a threat and an opportunity.
You think he might know about something that can help with Nemesis?
It's possible, yes.
Interesting. Yeah, it'd be cool if we could actually just get him on side, right? I mean, if he split off from the main group of Zeniths, maybe he's, I don't know, similar to Tilda in some ways, in that he sort of laments them a bit. I mean, imagine if you spend 1,000 years with any group of people, you'd grow a little bit spiteful of them all. But the mustache suggests otherwise, right? Hey, at least we've got Silence, right? A complex bald guy. Somewhat evil, but complex.
You said Walter Landra was a bit of a celebrity. What does that mean?
Although he made his money in aerospace, he put vast sums into the production of holographic entertainment.
Right.
In fact, his wife was a famous actress. The two of them were often featured in tabloids and other media.
Tabloids.
A type of news outlet that tracked the personal lives of celebrities, allowing legions of fans to live vicariously through the rich and famous.
Oh. Yuck.
Okay. I mean, surely that would just not make any sense to Aloy, but fine.
You said you've been searching through the Zenith base. Did you find anything that can help against Nemesis?
Well, I believe our best option is to unearth powerful technologies from the Zeniths, the ancient past, or both. And with such knowledge in hand, we might be able to build a weapon to hurt Nemesis in a way that it can't currently anticipate.
Surprise attack? I like it.
Don't get your hopes up. I found a few leads, but nothing concrete. It will be a long search, I fear.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll maybe have to utilize all of the old world machines, right? The Horus class Titans and stuff. We can find a way to control them. Beta is a skilled hacker and programmer, right? Surely she could find a way around it. Because we already know how to disable them, right? Because that's what is it Minerva? One of the subordinate functions was created to, over a certain number of years, be able to disable the Horus, the Pharaoh Plague, because because they had no back door, so you needed to be able to crack the code, but it was going to take centuries, and it did. I think was it after 400 years or something?
So where do you think Londra went?
The coast, far to the south. An area wrecked by tectonic shifts and volcanic activity.
Oh.
The few Tanakh who have ventured there refer to it as the Burning Shores. But 1,000 years ago it was called Los Angeles.
Oh.
A hub for the technology and entertainment industries. Londra's space mining company Heaven Sent was headquartered there. It stands to reason he would retreat to familiar territory. I'll send you the coordinates. So, are you ready to track down our rogue Zenith?
Let's go. I know I've been thinking it's in Hawaii or whatever, but then I just realised that the main menu screen changed to Burning Shores, and there's the sign of Hollywood on there. I am dense. Dense head. Let's go.
Okay, to the Burning Shores then.
Proceed with caution, Aloy. I suspect Londra is even more devious and resourceful than the other Zeniths.
Oh, Silence. If I didn't know better, I'd think you were actually concerned about my safety.
Aloy? I hope I haven't caught you in the middle of fighting a giant machine or something.
Hey, Beta, I'm actually on my way to the Burning Shores.
Oh, right. Gaia and I heard about your mission from Silence. Be safe, okay? We'll be here if you need us.
Will do. Thanks.
Thanks, sis. I think this map's going to be way bigger than I'm anticipating. Whoa, look at the beaches, the
This is
jets.
Londra's headquarters shouldn't be far.
Are we about to get struck down?
Okay, that can't be good. Shit!
Whoa, is that shooting at us? Sharon! That Quen?
Come on! Come on!
Were you actually flying just now?
Yeah, just, not my best landing.
Damn, more machines.
Who is that?
Stay back. I'll
Oh.
handle this.
Hold
Su-
on. I can help too.
subtitles.
Let's see what you got.
Alright, buddy.
Fire gleam, but more volatile.
Detonates on impact.
See those glowing crystals? Takes one hit to detonate.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah, already figured that out, thanks. That hit me!
Bad, stranger.
Take down the wide moors! Appreciate that. Not bad.
Oh, you know how to hold your own. The name's Seika.
Aloy. I could, say the same about you. You have a focus. So you're Quinn. You're not exactly like any diviner I've met.
How do you even know that?
I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but first...
Just one for now. I saw you before you crashed, flying on a sunwing. It didn't look like you knew about that tower, which means you're new. So what brought you here?
I'm looking for someone. There's a ruin. On the hill northeast of here, that's where I was headed.
The ruin on the hill. You mean Starlight Rise?
You know it. Is there another way to get there?
Maybe. But first, we're gonna have to do something about that tower. I think we can help each other, Aloy. The tower's not far from where my people made camp. I can show you the way.
I will follow you.
Hold on. You said we can help each other, but what exactly are you doing here?
Let's just say, I need that tower dealt with too. Come on. This way. Follow me.
I like Seika.
We'll have to take my skiff to get to the settlement.
What were you doing out here anyway?
The skiff's rudder is a bit off. I was after some parts to fix it. And sometimes, you just need to hunt alone.
Right, I'm gonna resist looking at the map for a moment here. In terms of, you know, knowing how big the DLC is. So is that maybe just air defense of some sort?
Here
Or
she is. I just need to attach this component I picked up. Hold tight.
Never seen a boat like that before.
Me and a gearhead back at the settlement roped it together. Works well enough. That'll do it. Skiff's good to go. Hop in. Oh no. Not another one. Whoa. Like I said, there's no getting to Starlight Rise so long as that tower's there.
So that definitely seems like an automated defense. It's not like it's
Okay.
being manually
Casting off.
targeted.
Huh. Sure beats rowing.
I've had a lot of time to improve her design.
How long have your people been here?
About a year, I think. We hit this massive storm crossing the Great Ocean. Lost half the fleet and our bearings.
Oh,
It
you
was
got-
a miracle
right.
we even made it to these shores. We've been stuck here ever since.
See. I'm sorry to hear that. Just how many of you are left?
Not as many as there should be. We've had other troubles since the shipwreck. And some of those remaining aren't much help.
Sounds like you're not thrilled to go back.
Bringing back an Outlander's certainly going to complicate things. It'll be fine. Just follow my lead and let me do the talking.
If you say so.
Was it Seika or Sekia? I don't think
That's
did
it
she.
on your left.
Seika.
Fleet's End.
Uplifting name.
We weren't in great spirits when we made landfall.
Fair enough. Wow, they've built pretty extensively.
Okay, here we
Oh,
go.
They've been here a year, haven't they? What am I talking about? So they just got split off from the fleet that landed at landfall.
I don't know anything further. May I be dismissed?
No. You will remain here until the traitor returns.
Oh no!
You!
Here we go.
Captain Sandals here.
One act of treason breeds another, it seems. Stealing a diviner's focus, leading a barbarian into our midst.
Where's the Quinn I know?
Arrest them both. Remove their focuses at once.
Arrest us. This is a matter for the Admiral, not a compliance officer.
by all means.
Getting bossed around by some guy wearing pedal pushers and sandals. Come on.
It's true. Seika stole the focus.
Who's the barbarian?
She's done for.
Things seem kind of tense around here.
It's not our best day.
Admiral Garrett! It's as I told you, sir. The proof is now before your eyes. A soldier dared to don a diviner's focus, the eye that reveals the legacy. But Seika did not stop there. She brought a barbarian among us, in direct violation of Confidentiality Clause 3A. Protocol states that these—
I might be our last chance at finding our missing people, sir. Diviner Vi's focus showed me his last moments. He found a clue. The ruin on Starlight Rise. There's evidence our people were there.
Hunter's headquarters.
Now we have no means of safe passage. Not in our current situation. But she might have another way.
Remember the law, sir. Focus is for a diviner. No one else.
Seika's actions are indeed concerning. And there will have to be a reckoning. But finding our lost crew is paramount. If Seika has a chance of bringing them back, our course is clear. Even compliance must recognize that. I will allow it. Seika and the Outsider are free to pursue this lead.
But sir, if—
Yeah. Take your pedal pushers and fuck off.
Outlander, I'd like a word when you have a moment.
Damn them.
You okay?
I shouldn't have said that. It's just that my sister is one of the missing. Not only that, she's our last navigator, our only means of getting home. I've got to find her, even if it means using a forbidden relic. Meanwhile, Rang and the others act like I'm the problem, when in reality, I'm the only one looking for a solution.
Look, I understand. Maybe more than you know, but for now, I think we need to calm down and just—
calm.
Well, the other Quen are gone, aren't they? I forgot
You're
about
right,
that.
of course. Getting upset isn't going to help.
Okay.
Yeah, the Quen in San
Both need to get to
Francisco
the place
left.
you call Starlight Rise. But that tower seems like it knocks anything nearby out of the sky.
Out of the water, too. It fires at any watercraft in range.
Oh, great. Well, it seems to me you've got some kind of plan in mind to deal with it.
Maybe. Between the two of us, there might be a way.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking in my head, like, why aren't we telling them about landfall? Like, just go and find them. And then I was, oh yeah, they all left, other than Alva and well, there was like maybe like 2 or 3 who accompanied Alva, who were stood on Golden Gate Bridge. So yeah, they've left San Francisco. So. All right. What was your role before you pinched that focus?
Well, you're a good fighter, that's for sure. But beyond that, I don't know much about you.
There's not much to tell. Nothing special about me. Except my sister is pretty well known among my people.
You don't seem so ordinary to me.
I was just a petty officer until we ran aground. But we lost a lot of midshipmen and lieutenants to the storm and the wreck. And now even more of them are missing. So I've been trying to step up and help the Admiral.
Sure.
It took a lot of guts putting on that focus. Seems to me he needs more like you.
Tell that to Rang and his toadies.
You have no questions about me? Where I got my focus? Where I'm from? No? Alright, so the diviner died from the sounds of things?
What exactly did you find on that diviner's focus?
When the scout boat sent by the Admiral didn't return, he sent our very last one to find out what happened to them. Diviner Vi was on board. They made it as far as Starlight Rise, went inland and found a camp and a bunch of equipment. It looked like some of our people went into a ruin there. Then they spotted a machine, unlike anything we've seen. Silver and gold, moved like a spider. Spooked, they ran back to their boat.
He's got a few
They were lucky to
spectres.
escape. I've dealt with those things before.
Well, their luck ran out fast. The morning they tried to sail back, the tower went up and blew them right out of the water. Vi's body washed ashore here sometime later. A friend of mine found it and let me know. The same friend that ratted me out to Rang for taking the focus. But what was I supposed to do?
I would have done the same thing. Trust me.
Have you said how long they've been gone for?
So your sister is a navigator?
More like the navigator. The only Quen who can steer by the stars without instruments.
Right.
She reads the sky like a scroll.
Yeah.
Knows every constellation by position, no matter how much it spins around up there, which means she's been an Imperial favorite ever since her first exam. One of the fleet's most precious assets. And now she's gone.
She and the others just disappeared?
After we made landfall, the hard way, the Admiral sent out scouting expeditions with the very few boats we had left. Not one of them returned. I don't know what happened to them all, but I do know it has something to do with that tower. And Starlight Rise.
We're agreed on that.
The tower.
Is there anything else you can tell me about that tower?
It just appeared one day a couple of weeks ago after our scout boats went missing. And it shoots at anything in the sky or sea. Machines, boats. You.
Okay, don't remind me.
I tried to get near it, but it's mounted on a tall ruin with machines all around. On the plus side, its range is limited. I've been testing it with my skiff and setting up buoys to mark the radius.
Buoys.
Can't tell if that's smart or reckless.
Both, maybe. I'll admit there have been a couple of near misses.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that particular Americanism. Buoys! I mean, I'm sure I sound funny as fuck to some people. Yeah. Boy, it's a boy, not a buoy.
You think there's a way to do something about that tower?
If we want to reach Starlight Rise, we have to try. I was able to approach the tower on foot, but I couldn't get close enough to shoot at it or anything like that. With the right help, though,
Show me the way and we'll give it a shot.
you'll probably want to resupply first. You can use my skiff if you need to hunt for resources. Just stay south of the settlement. The tower can't hit that side. I set up some buoys to mark its radius.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go clear my head. There's a bridge that leads to the ruins where the tower is mounted. I'll wait for you on the other side.
Sure.
Hold on. There's one more thing. The Quen here, all of this. You were part of a larger expedition, right? Headed for San Francisco?
That's how you know about us. And you've seen the others, haven't you? And they're alive.
They've gone home.
Most of them, yeah. I can put you in touch with them, but we should find your missing people first, right?
They're alive.
Oh,
This
right.
is great news. But yes, you're right, it should wait. If we tell everyone now, it'll just be a distraction. So for the sake of the missing, we have to keep the focus on them.
All right then. I'll see you on the other side of the bridge.
I suppose some of them would have stayed behind, right? Landfall is... I've not checked if Landfall is still on the map, but...
Might not be a bad idea to resupply before I meet Seika. Or I could explore a little with her skiff first.
Wow. Look at this. A tall neck, maybe? Okay, so she said south side, right? So I imagine this is the tower. Is there a volcano in LA? Right, so we've got some dangerous looking machines over here to the west already. So it's sort of like an archipelago, right? Shallowish waters separating a lot of these small land masses. Interesting. Right, so we've been restricted in our movement because of the presence of the tower. We can float around on a skiff. We have to stick to the south side. So we'll probably just sort of stick to the main story for a bit then. But let's have a little look around town. But let's talk to Captain Tassel, Admiral Tassels here.
You. A word.
I have a name, Captain Tassels.
So, a barbarian strolls into camp with Seika. The two of you promised to find our missing people. Given our desperate situation, I have little choice but to agree. That doesn't mean I like trusting our fate to a stranger. Who are you? Where'd you come from?
My name is Aloy. As for my life story, does it matter if I can help?
I suppose it depends on the cost. Compliance has trained its sights on Seika. And by letting her gallivant off with a foreigner, I may have given her just enough rope to hang herself.
You've got enough rope on your
Seems
outfit,
to me
mate.
she can take care of herself, but I'll do my best to keep her out of trouble.
Very well. To that end, is there anything you need to know?
Yes, lots. Okay, so I imagine without their diviner, they don't know the identity of Elizabeth Sobek, right? Because of how segregated their knowledge is in Quen culture, or in the Quen hierarchy. So no one will recognize Aloy as Elizabeth. I don't know, though. Yeah, they would, though, because the soldiers recognized us the very first time we encountered the Quen, right? When we first met Alpha and the soldiers surrounded us at the end of that mission. They recognized us as an ancestor, right? I'm sure they did. Yeah, they definitely did. So some of these people should recognize us. What's the situation?
You said your situation was desperate. How did all this happen?
We sailed from across the Great Ocean. Ours was the tribe's most important mission in a century. It was to be my swan song. Now it will be my epitaph. A typhoon struck us midway, cleaving the fleet in two. I know not what happened to the other half. Scattered, stranded, probably sunk.
I don't know. There's always hope.
After we beached, I sent out scout boats to explore the coast. None returned. And I haven't the craft nor manpower to mount a search. First I lost half my fleet, now I've lost half the survivors, so don't speak to me of hope.
Are we gonna
And
tell him?
yet, Seika found a clue on that focus.
You're just like her. You don't give up.
Are we not gonna tell him that they're all alive?
Compliance sure seems to have a lot of sway around here.
Compliance officers are the eyes and ears of the Imperial House. It is their duty to ensure that the wisdom of our ancestors doesn't fall into the hands of our enemies. And so they ferret out the disloyal and disobedient. Inspections, interrogations, all in the name of security.
All I see is one man causing a lot of unrest in your camp.
Being liked is not part of Compliance's mandate. Assuming we ever return home, Rain will report on the crew to his superiors. That fact gives him a lot of influence. I can only pray that he uses it for the greater good.
Yes. To procure more pedal pushers.
You seem to think highly of Seika.
She is an exemplary Marine. Persistent, selfless, resourceful. Being stranded is a battle of attrition. Everyone wears down eventually, but not her. Not yet. I've come to rely on her more and more. She's our best hope for finding the missing. I'm sure of that.
Okay. Let's not tell him then about the rest of his surviving compatriots.
I'll do my best to help Seika bring back your people.
If they're even still alive. Keep her safe if you can.
Alright, Garrett. I'll do that. Try not to hang yourself on your outfit by accident. So many ropes and tassels. Health and safety nightmare. Alright, so we've got a weapon. Let's just check the map for it. A side quest. It's probably just be like a bench and all the rest of it. Hunter, Stitcher, nice. Herbalist, I use them a lot, obviously. And can't go on the north side of the island because we'll get struck down. The main quest is to the east. Got you. Right, so behind me is a Stitcher. I would love a new outfit. I did spend a lot of money on pouch upgrades though. Where are you? You're below. Hang on, let's not just keep following the map. Let's just look around. This guy's being fanned.
Seika might be your ally, but who knows how long her luck will last.
Yes. God, he had the huskiest voice.
You can't leave without finding our people.
You gonna be on duty soon?
You can't stay here forever either.
You guys look hard at work. Eating grapes and being fanned? What's going on here? Fighting for survival?
I apologize for some of the crew. They're not used to an outlander among us.
Look at him just eating grapes! For God's sake. He's cleaning the crockery and these guys are all sat around doing fuck all.
Shh, not now.
Just shush me.
Can't talk right now.
Oh, these guys are too much. Oh, it's a terrible tragedy, yes. Oh, for God's sake, me and following the map, man. Where is the Stitcher?
Why does it have to be?
About
Must
the
be.
other night, we're okay.
Excuse me. Wow, lovely. Look at this. Feels really Pirate Cove. Not as clean as the settlement at Landfall. Oh, nice. Excuse me. This is a melee pit. Right, we'll check in with the merchants first. Sailor.
Respect our laws, and you'll be welcome here.
I have stock left.
Okay, no. dialogue.
Okay. Might regret it though.
No, I won't. I would rather go to the Stitcher first because I'm more interested in looking good than new weapons. I might want some recipes. So. Hello there, child
Get
chef.
me the ingredients, and I'll stir up something special.
Oh yeah, I'm full up. Curd of the ancestors. God's sake. Right, I've not eaten any of the stuff I've got.
Not like this kitchen's going anywhere.
Oh, let's just have a little look around.
Got something that might interest you, Huntress.
Alright, some legendaries. Only got about 7,000. Let's just get rid of some things. Nice. Probably some more weapons I could get rid of, but... Right. Warrior bows, shredder gauntlets, they're just not in my repertoire. Oh, okay, that's one, that's for building up stick paste. Or whatever it's called, is it stick paste? Right, are these all Quen themed weapons? They all look pretty green. Right, so we've got the Emperor's Reign, a hunter bow. The mid-range weapon of choice for elite Quen agents who strike quick and close from the shadows, ensuring that the Emperor's power remains absolute. Long may he reign. Oh, it's got resources specific for the DLC. Brimshine. It's got the stuff that converts machines on it anyway, which I don't like. Warrior bow. For God's sake, warrior bro. I'm a warrior bro. Strike true as the 10 in the midst of battle with this powerful short bow designed to take advantage of multiple elements. Its arrows bite and sting any enemy who gets too close. We were told that there were... Silence did say that there were Tanakh out here. Right, a sharp shot bow. This is what we should be after. Gravesinger's Lament. So this is a new Utaru bow. A Gravesinger knows that death can strike without warning. This powerful long-range bow does the same. So, advanced arrows, piercing arrows, and the last one is they're knockdown arrows. So, not a big fan of that either, to be honest. A rope caster that does explosive barrels, plasma ropes, and advanced ropes. A remarkable weapon crafted by an Utaru metal weaver. It excels at attaching explosive canisters to enemies, while its ropes are as sturdy as tree roots in the old growth. I like that. The tie that binds. It's got a very Utaru name as well. Eternal Vengeance. Some vendettas never end. This devastating weapon was designed to show no mercy at close range. A melee follow-up. Okay, normal bolts, advanced bolts, and shock bolts. Not in love with that. And another shredder gauntlet. And unmistakable as a clap of resounding thunder. This remarkable Ostrom creation was designed to lay waste to enemies across long distances. Yeah, Brimshine, whatever that is. Where's this bloody Stitcher? Got a barking. I think we found the right path. Right, now I'm guessing now that...
Did your review go okay?
Cool, look at her hair. Interesting. Right, at last. Now I imagine it's this, whatever this Brimshine is. We're probably going to need it for this tailor as well.
Need of new attire, Outlaw?
Stitcher even. Right, we've got all this stuff. There is a Quen set. Norrel. Oh! Got 8 Brimshine. Man, that is a lovely set. Quen Commander, Quen Marine. I really love that Nora set. I love that. Quen stuff, not so much, man. Where can I get some Brimshine from? Right, let's read these though. A Quen Commander set. Heavy armor designed for Quen who strike with the full force of the Empire at their back. Augmented to improve resonator strikes. Okay, so melee focused. I'm only really looking at the cosmetics here, to be honest. This fitted armor is the mark of a Marine. Cornerstone of the Quen naval forces. Strong, nimble, and above all, reliable. A Nora lookout. A scout's garb suited for prolonged excursions into the wilds. Durable satchels allow its wearer to make the most of their provisions. That is a lovely set. I love the high collar. And a lovely set. It's not too heavy on the hips as well. Really nice. It's not got big, heavy... Yeah, the hands aren't covered, which I really prefer. Yeah, that is our target right there. We have everything else. Yeah, not a big fan of these Quen sets. Maybe we'll find some in as part of the missions.
Nothing caught your eye?
Yeah, it did. I just don't have any of the resources. Alright, this place is pretty awesome, right? Integrated into the ruins. Let's see what this side quest is about.
Need a boost out in the wild?
Don't ask me to play Strike, please.
I see compliance is keeping busy.
You have no idea. Or maybe you do. Meet me at the burial grounds, up the western hill.
Okay.
Alright. A bit sus. I don't think we can even go there without getting shot by the tower. Oh, cool. The paint as a painter as well. This probably dies, right? Well, you'd hope it was anyway.
Remember,
Right, what time are we on? Like an hour and a half. Man, I'm so bad at finding stuff in the towns. It was up there. I will Skyrim climb. Okay, this is a disaster. Okay. Let's look at the beach. Thank you. There we go. I didn't really use many resources fighting those wide moors. Hi, mate. Oh, the game had crashed then. What have we got? Got some new Nora stuff? We did unlock some new ones. We got a new Oseram one, I seem to remember. Is it the Explorer? No, I think it was the Wayfarer. That's pretty slick. Oh, Banuk. That's what I was thinking of earlier. Banuk. Man, the Tadak stuff is just so over the top. It's like being like it's like a Belgian football fan. Yeah. Quan stuff, very elegant. Could go for this while we're here.
Fine painting, if I say so myself.
Cheers, boss. Alright, I don't know if we can talk to the moody compliance guy. Let's just see what this is first. Yeah, it looks like dyes.
Bit of color for your garb, Outlander?
Oh, it's the chef! Right, now there might be some new dyes. Really? Yeah, new dyes. That's the only legendary set we've got, right? Oh, no. Yeah, I think that Pale Fens is new. Yeah. Where is the base set that we've got on? I quite like that. Quen colours, right? I think Ash and Coal might be new as well. No, the ones that we'd have not. That's the ones that we've not. That we can only have to pay for. I think we've had before. Well, let's have a look at some of the Utari sets. See if there's some new colours for them. Nope. Yeah, the Dragoon. Still the same.
You make those colors stand out even brighter.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Looking lovely, Aloy. Nice and green. Like one of Regala's rebels. Right, so we'll when we come across any of that Brimshine, we'll spend it on that Nora set. Because that was my favourite by a long, long way.
Potion! Fresh brew! What was the point of it all?
Right guys, I'm going to leave it there. I know I've not made much progress, but I was chatting on about the main game and stuff for a bit, wasn't I? So I just wanted to get some of the thoughts out that I had after finishing the game, before, you know, playing through all this while they were still fresh in my mind. Right, so yeah, hope you enjoyed the start to... I nearly said Frozen Wilds, to Burning Shores. Yeah, it's pretty sizable map. I don't know how we go back to the mainland. I mean, I imagine we just fast travel, right? Yeah, I'm trying to compare it. How far can we zoom? So yeah, I mean, it's bigger than Vegas. So I guess it's sort of similar to the sort of general Plainsong area. Pretty huge. I guess there's a lot of water in between though, and some lava areas that are probably a no-go. So yeah, we just draw a line here, we're sort of sticking to this region. So we'll join Seika in the next video. She seems cool, right? Sort of a bit living in the shadow of her sister a little bit, but also a fierce warrior in her own right. So yeah, we'll pick it up from here next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a thumbs up if you did. Just remember, everyone, never trust an on-crate. I'll see you next time.